All right, so I know you're super excited about number 6. Got a word problem. But I would tell you is that this is really, I call it a problem with words. They give us everything we need to solve it. So we just have to do a translation here. So they've given us a problem, or they've written out in sentences. We just need to rewrite this in what I would call Mathlish. It's in English, and we want to rewrite it in Mathlish. Most all these problems are set up in the same way. If you look at the top right here, they usually involve you buying two different items, and they won't tell you how much you bought of each, but they'll tell you the total number of items you buy, and then they'll tell you the cost of the first item and the cost of the second. But then they won't tell you how many of each, but they'll tell you how much total you spent. So take a look at this. So let's look for our two items in this problem. So it says adult tickets. I'm thinking that's my first item, adult tickets. Cost 8. And children's tickets. Oh, there's my second item. Children's tickets cost 5. So there's a total of 14 people that went, and we spent a total of $82. So those are really the pieces of information that I need to know. So we could say that A is equal to the number of adult tickets, and C, we use C for children, is the number of kid tickets. And we'll say adult tickets. Make that singular. There we go. So A is equal to the number of adult tickets. C is equal to the number of child tickets. Those are my two items. So when I say first item plus second item, I'm saying adult ticket plus kid ticket. Okay, so we don't know how many tickets there were. So we could say, well, I'm not sure how many adults went on this trip. Plus, we're not sure yet how many kids went on the trip. But what we do know is that we do know the total number of people that went on the trip, right? So it tells us there's a total of 14 people that went on the trip. So let's pause here. This should make sense. The number of adults plus the number of kids, the total people that went on the trip would be 14. Now we don't know how many adults, how many kids, but that's what we're going to figure out. Then the second line tells you the cost. So it tells you how much each thing cost. So it says that a adult ticket is $8, so that would be 8A, plus the cost of the kid ticket, so the kid ticket was $5, so we've got plus 5C, and then that equals our total cost. Well, how much total did we spend? Well, we spent a total of $82. Alright, so let's make sure. So this is the hard part, I think, for a lot of students, is just doing this translation of how do I get from all these words into equations. But, look, it should make sense. The number of adults plus the number of kids, there's 14 total people that went. $8 for an adult plus $5 for a kid, and then the total, which would be $82. Now, what we're asking for here, what we're looking for is we're looking for how many adults. So what we want to do here is that we want to solve for A. Solve for A. Right, because we want to know how many adults. Well, if we want to know how many adults, then what we'd want to do is we'd want to eliminate the C's, right? So I can multiply to change this equation. And what I want to change it to is that I want to change it to something to where the C's would cancel. Because again, I'm looking for A. This is what I want. So we're saying for the moment, I don't care about this. So what would cancel with a plus 5? Well, what would cancel with a plus 5 would be a minus 5. So what I would have to do is I would have to multiply this entire equation by negative 5. Let me distribute that all the way across. Right? And I'm going to have a new equation now. So I've got negative 5A minus 5C equals negative 70, I'm sorry, negative 70. And then the second equation stays the same. 8A plus 5C equals 82. And now what we see is we see that the C's will cancel each other out. So I can cancel the c's out, and then I'm just going to add up the two equations. So negative 5 plus 8 would give me 3a. 82 minus 70 would give me 12. So then I'm going to divide both sides by 3. So I get a is equal to 4. So that means that 4 adults went on the trip. Well, obviously you kind of figure it out from here. If there's 4 adults that went, 14 total people, right? How many kids were there? Well, 4 plus 10 would give you 14. But actually this particular question is just asking for the adults. So even though we're used to writing our answer as an ordered pair like 4 comma 10, this particular question is just asking for the adults. So we could just say here that a is equal to 4, that there was 4 adults that went. Alright, so go ahead and pause now and try number 6. And let's see what you got for number 6 now that you should have that finished. So you should have got, we were solving for how many roses? So you should have got that there was 8 dozen red roses. So your 2 items in this one, the first was roses, the second was carnations. Those were your 2 items. Alright, so that finishes up number 6. Let's go ahead and go over to the next page and look at some graphing.